Back to that. Text line, get back to it.
Bobby Gerald's going to join us at 9.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go with the state of the Kings draft. As of right now, they have a second round. As of right now, this is shaping up to be the most boring offseason in Sacramento Kings history.
Yeah.
They don't. I mean, I hope. I really hope. Am I wrong for being preemptively pissed off if Devin Carter doesn't play in Summer League?
Oh, he should.
Right? Yes.
Yeah.
100%. Unless the only caveat, and they better put out a damn statement if this is the case, he's being held out for shoulder. Like if he's 95% healed, but there's a chance he could aggravate. Yeah, okay.
But I mean,
he played.
More reps for him, more spots at the point guard. Like let him run the point and just see what that looks like.
Yes.
Go dominate if you can.
Yes. And I don't know, man. It sure does kind of feel like this is going to be a crazy offseason.
Collectively or for the Kings?
Yes. Yeah. I think so. I look, I don't think Scott Perry's going to force anything. I hope he doesn't, but you just hear these rumblings. Like, for example, the Kings have been working out a lot of guys that they have no business working out with a second round pick. There was it Sean? Somebody reported, I don't know who the hell did, but somebody that mattered enough for me to remember it reported that the Kings are making overtures that they're likely going to be in the first round, that they'll make a move to get in the first round. I don't know what that entails. I don't know what it just seems like. It feels like this is a calm before the storm for both the league and for the Kings right now.
Yeah, and I think, the advantage of getting into the draft is you get to pick a player that you have contract control for the next couple of years. I think that's the reason, and you're adding young talent, all that kind of stuff. Second round's not the same, but I wonder how high they would have to get, what it would cost them to get in there, what player or players they're kind of targeting that say, hey, if we get 17th through 20th, we got a good shot at these two guys. I don't know who they're looking at, or who they feel would be that kind of player that it's worth doing that as opposed to trying to trade for somebody.
Yes. Also, George Carl Landry, Fields or Shamet. I know. Isn't Field Yates somebody?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We'll get back to that.
Okay.
Landry, former King.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you, dude. Now, I don't want them to force it, but also I keep going back to the whole Scott Perry turned over the entire Knicks roster in well under 3 seasons.
Right.
I don't know. We're going to learn very quickly if Scott Perry has complete and total freedom. When I say quickly, I mean there's going to be signs that he has complete. So far, we don't know. And honestly, the only move he's made, which has been to retain Doug Christie, and again, we say this as fans of Doug Christie, but if you're trying to make a case that there's no interference from ownership, that's not the move you want to present.
Right.
That to somebody with a permanently raised eyebrow, that smells very much of something that was a prerequisite before he came in. It's going to take a while. I don't think ownership has been under the microscope this much in their entire tenure here. In fact, I don't know that an owner has been under the microscope in Sacramento as much as ownership is right now. And it's going to take a while because now we have a new thing where I think ownership did step away at the beginning of the McNair era and then step back at the end of the McNair era. Now we've got to, even if Scott Perry comes out and things are, and we'll have to define at some point because there could be differing opinions as to what predicates an ownership free move versus an ownership interference move. I think the general consensus is if we're making win now moves, that's an ownership thing. If we're making future moves, that's a Scott Perry thing. I don't know that that's necessarily a fair characterization because I don't know how Scott Perry feels about that.
Right. Yeah. That seems like that's just a jump to conclusion, but it could be true though.
Could be true.
Right.
Could be both. Yeah. Yes. Could be a jump to conclusions and could also be Fair and correct. We'll take a break. When we come back, let's go back to the Oklahoma City, Indiana series at the top of the hour. Does this series end on Thursday? We got audio for you as well and some other NBA news before we get to Bobby Gerald at 9.